Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor. Click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many, many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you for watching and liking. Now, I have the 2026 Kia EV4 sedan. I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the specs and features. Stay tuned, that's coming up next. All right, let's talk about the 2026 Kia EV4. This is the GT line, so this is gonna be the most expensive version. So the first thing you do when you walk up to it, the car will do two things. Number one, as you can see, it mirrors unlock. And if you stay here long enough, it also unlocks and the door handles present themselves. They're nicely flushed in, which is nice, you know, which is pretty cool. And then if you lock the car, like so, and then you unlock it, the lighting does a little dance, like a little welcome light, which is very, very, very nice. Super cool, similar to its sibling, the EV6. And let's talk about the front end styling. It kind of has, I do love the style, the lighting elements here. This little lighting signature is super cool. And let me actually turn on the lights real quick. And keep the lights on for a second while I talk to you guys. So let's talk about the lighting here. And yes, I know the keys are not on the side, but talking about the lighting, I do like this little signature here, which is super cool. Daytime running light and turn signal. Right now, this is your low beam as it sits. And then when you turn on the high beams, this row of lights here get brighter. And going in the front end, it kind of has a happy face, kind of happy to see you type of look. You do have a front-facing camera because it is the GT line. You do have parking sensors all over the front end. Big open mouth here for cooling for the battery. It does have active shutters, grille shutters that open and close. Right now they're open and close for efficiency, to give you better range, and they close up when they're not needed. And overall, this is a good looking little car. In my opinion, it is wrapped in Nexen tires, 215/50 on 19-inch wheels because this is the GT line, like I've mentioned. There's another of that parking sensor right there. And the charge port is on the passenger side door. And this is the first Kia vehicle with the dedicated Tesla connector. So you have access to the Tesla supercharger. It does have a little light in there, which is pretty cool, super easy. And Kia, thankfully, did not make it motorized and fancy for the sake of motorizing it. And mirror caps are black because it is a GT line. Also has an integrated camera right here for the 360 camera. And this one, just like the K4 sedan and hatchback, has the wide open sunroof as well. And moving in the back as well, we'll do a little dance, the lighting. And let me turn off the car, show you guys what that looks like. I do like the lighting, LED lighting signature, the way it looks. Super futuristic and super high tech. And let me lock the car. Let's see if it, yep. So that's the turn signal right there, turn signal brake light. And then when you unlock the car, if I can figure this out, it will do this little signature here, which is super unique and super cool. And contrary to belief, what you're a little deceiving because Kia makes it look like a hatchback because it has that hatchbacky floating design, and this is just for aesthetic purposes. But it is indeed a sedan. You can, of course, unlock it. And it does have 14.4 cubic inches of space, which on paper looks small, but this is very, very big. I think you could fit 3 bodies in here. And the seats do fold down. So you do have manual seat releases. There's the weird bug here trying to be in my shot. Get away from my shot, bug. And you do have pull for the seats right here. You can fold them down individually to maximize your cargo capability. And nice little, before we go in the interior, little kind of 2 little spoilers here for aerodynamic purposes, which is a nice little interesting design language. You got a little shark fin antenna, like in most modern car. All right, let's take a look at the interior real quick. the tech of the all-new 2026 Kia K4. Stay tuned for that. Let's talk about the interior and the technology of the 2026 Kia EV4 GT Line. So let's start with the seats. I like these dual tone color seats. You got white, this is a synthetic leather. Also has GT Line embossed in the seat right here, which is very nice. I do like the shape of the steering wheel. I mean, the headrest, excuse me. This kind of rib design is very interesting and unique to this car. And moving towards the center, we do have a wireless charging pad here for while it charges. You have USB-C, two USB-Cs, fast charging, might add. And if I turn on the car real quick, you can of course set it to charge and data and USB-C here, and you do have a traditional style outlet right there. And so let's talk about the center console here. Nice little floating center console here. I have the car running, so this button here activates the auto brake hold feature. So you turn that on. What that does is it will brake for you at a stoplight, in a hill. This button here activates the 360 camera, which this vehicle has. And just like its K4 siblings, you can spin it around, which is pretty cool. And you have 360 view and different angles. And if you put this vehicle in reverse, let's see if I can try to do that, because this is a pre-production vehicle and I don't think it's going to let me do that. And let's see if I can probably turn it on. Oh, I just turned that off. Hold on. Let's try that again. And bear in mind, folks, this is a pre-production car, so no, it is not going to let me do that. So never mind, but you can spin the camera around and you have 360 camera views. Parking sensor button right here, so that activates front and rear sensors. This is a downhill assist, so basically downhill brake control, as the screen is telling me, correcting me. So basically it's kind of like regen. So when you're going down a hill, you can activate heavy regen. And while we're here, in this particular key, the key for the K4, EV4 is white. But unlike its sibling, this has the remote park feature. So if you press and hold this button forward, the vehicle will move forward. Press this one to move backwards. You could turn it on. Pretty nice little party trick. Lock, unlock, just like any other Kia. And the cubby is not exactly that big, but it's decent enough. You can put your key in there, your wallet, a phone. Going back to the infotainment screens, we have another dual 12.3-inch displays as well, using Kia's latest infotainment systems. I would like to also add that this vehicle, just like the K4, has its Kia AI, where you can tell it to set up climate controls, enter destinations. Obviously, in this car, it's not active because it is a pre-production car, but it does have, of course, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, valet mode, weather, stocks. Nope, I don't want to press that. And just like the K4, does have the dedicated climate control screen. Yes, it's small, but if you press this button right here, it activates and you can turn on your climate control, which is cool. Nice little animation there for the airflow. So you can set the temperature dual zone there. You can sync it. Super unique and neat feature. And when you're done with it, you just press this X here and it goes back to the center display. And let me see if this car has the map. And speaking of the center buttons, I do love the fact that this car has kind of like ghost buttons hidden here in the dashboard, and they're physical as well. Super unique and super cool. Right here you got home, map, search, media, favorites, and then setup button, which is kind of nice. You do have a real volume knob right here, and then you can click that for power on and off. These are the vehicle settings. If you've been in any modern Kia and Hyundai product, you can see this similar screen. This is your EV screen, so tells you your efficiency. You could set the battery to charge. There are no official numbers from Kia in terms of range, but this particular vehicle that I'm sitting in is showing me 330 miles of range, which if they can stick to that number is actually excellent. And that's if you put it in eco mode by pressing this button on the steering wheel. But normal mode, it dips to 321, and it does have also sport mode. And if you look at the dashboard, the lighting starts changing, which is kind of cool, a little dance based on their driving modes. And look at that, kind of like a Knight Rider type of thing. Normal mode, and then sport mode gets all red and angry, and you also have the same lighting in the door panels. This vehicle has a lot of premium features at a lower price point, like this ambient lighting on the door panels, which is nice and pretty cool, and a nice little party trick. Infotainment, like I said, it's basically dual 12.3-inch screens for the driver, and of course infotainment duties, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The shifter is actually mounted here on the column. You do have, you press click forward for drive, back for reverse, and then park, you press this button here to go into park. I can't do anything because this car is a pre-production, so it's not going to go anywhere. And that is, oh, and if we go over to the center and the roof, you do have these nice little LED lighting for everything pretty much in the cabin. So, and capacitive touch buttons. So you can just press this right here. The sunroof is what Kia calls a wide opening sunroof, which is nice. It looks wide on the exterior, but not that big on the inside, but it's fine, it's sufficient. And that's pretty much up front. Let's take a look at the back seat. Before we step in the back seat of the 2026 Kia EV4, I want to mention that this vehicle does have paddles on the steering wheel. The left one is for less regen. The right one is for more regen, which is a unique, especially if you're coasting down a hill or something, you can just click these paddles and you can tell the car how much regen you want or don't want. And that's pretty much it. And up front, let's take a look at the back seat of the 2026 Kia EV4. Stay tuned for that. All right, stepping in the back seat of the Kia EV4 GT Line, massive amount of room in here. I am 5'8", plenty of leg room behind my desired position of driving, and it's a very good place to be. You do have a nice little armrest here, 2 couples on the door and the side. You do have center climate vents and USB ports conveniently mounted on the side of each seat. You have a little deep cubby here. Being an electric vehicle, it is does have a completely flat floor because it's an electric car. So nice. I could sit in the middle and I don't feel weird. And even in the middle here, the headroom then decreases a little bit when you're sitting in the middle. But if I move over back to here, plenty of headroom, no problem whatsoever at all. This vehicle does have a Harman Kardon sound system because it is the GT line. And same, just like up front, you do have nice little LED lighting back here. You just touch sensitive buttons, which is pretty cool and unique. And the Kia EV4 sedan goes on sale at the first half of 2026. And this has been my first quick look of this EV4 sedan. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.